What's going on, people? What is the deal? What is going on? I'm excited. I want to thank y'all for being here with us. I'm Stephen J, my partner Ghost, and this is another episode of Real Tough Talk. But this is the playoff edition.
First of all, before we get into all of that, I see that you already started your smack talking about the All-Star game.
Listen.
What's good with that?
Did you see my team? I got a great all-star team. And we're trying to repeat again to tie it 3-3. West has won 3 all-star games. We have won the last 2, and we're going for 3-3.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. The only reason, the first time you won, it was a good game. It was a very close game. So I give that to you. The last game, like I said, we had some good all-stars or whatever, but we was short in staff. The West was kind of down last year. Mm-hmm. We didn't have as many, teams to actually pull from last year as y'all did. I ain't gonna lie, y'all had a lot of good players, but this year we got a squad. We squadding up on the West this year. So again, you had your wins, you had your enjoyment, but it's over. The West is already about to take over this year.
Well,
it's done.
We're gonna have the guys look at when they see the show and come up with what little wager we'll have. Last year, you had to sing the national anthem, and I believe the year I didn't think we have a wager year before, but the year before that, the last one I lost, I had to do the Michael Jackson dance, whatever.
Oh, the beat it dance. The Thriller dance. Yeah.
So we're going to see what we come up with. People say me reffing in the dress. That's not going to happen.
So, listen.
It's too humiliating.
Yeah.
But something pretty funny.
Far. Yeah.
We may have to get the hottest chip, that chip thing. That's a good one. See who eat the chip and if you can survive. Okay. One of those things is something funny. So y'all got some ideas. Let us know when we on the field Saturday. And, give us some ideas and we'll pick the best one for a little wager of who wins the All-Star game.
Listen, at the end of the day, we're picking what Jay is going to do when he loses. That's all it is.
That's what he said last year.
Listen, okay. But again, I wasn't anticipating what happened to my squad last year.
And I will be coaching. Last year, it was me and Charlie, who won Coach of the Year, helped me with it on last year. So, and on your side, you had Chuck and Cable Guy help you on your side. But I'm going to coach this year. I had my little coaching experience with SYS, went to the Final Four in EHS. Just to throw out that, a shout out to SYS. And this year, in the All-Star game, I will be coaching just to show y'all guys what a real coach can do. And I'm going to test it on the All-Star game. Listen,
I tried the coaching thing last year, and it was hard to figure out what I was going to do with most of the guys I was there. It ended up being a lot of guys playing both ways because, we was kind of short. I think we got jerked on a couple plays. So, again, you could watch the game and see when we got jerked. But, again, I'm not complaining because it's a new year, and this is you about to take another L. That's all.
Well, let's jump into this playoff matchup. You're going to have the first game we're going to go over is FOE versus IOD. And these two teams met up the last game of the season. IOD came away with the win. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the difference coming into the playoffs now with these two matching up? I believe that was the game that Twan got hurt.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, coming into this game, Twan won't be here. But what do you think would be the difference coming into this playoff game rather than the regular season? Right now, this is a number 2 seed versus the number 7 seed.
The thing that may make a difference is obviously the definite underdogs is FOE because they lost their defensive, I would say, their defensive guy, their defensive player of the year candidate in Twan. So, and even though he's known for defense, he was a two-way player. He also is a weapon on offense. So somebody got to step up and pick up the slack.
Right.
Or a bunch of people needs to step up and pick up the slack. They have a lot of guys that are playmakers on this team. They just need to get it together. And Dave has to play his best football. If he doesn't do that, this team is in trouble facing this IOD team right now.
And IOD got something to prove this year. They put all their chips in. They have they went out, they got Swiss, they got Akon. They picked up the league reigning MVP. And they put all their chips up on deck. They betting it all, whatever they have, because they feel that they have to get to the championship. This team has been to 3 Final Fours and lost all 3 Final Fours, and then they went to the Elite Eight and they lost that game. So they kind of took a step back last year.
And that's why they made some pickups this season to make a difference this year. Obviously, they don't want to be stuck at that same hump that they always get stuck at, the Final Four. That's the furthest they've ever gotten. They want to get over that hump. They picked up Akon. They picked up Swiss. They got Buck. They picked up Lou. That's contributing for this team. All of these guys are put into certain positions to help this team win. Will it be enough throughout this playoffs? As we can only wait and see.
Well, we're gonna jump into the game. Dave's gonna get the start. He got benched last week. He was here. He didn't play. Ghostface did a horrible job, and they got their starter back. Dave is gonna start this game. Dave is gonna throw the bop in the gap for a decent game. Third down, Dave gets blitzed by Swiss. Dave tries to throw, but the pass is blocked by Swiss, incomplete. Last down at the 40-yard line. Dave on 4 rush, throws to Bop on the sideline, way off target, turnover on downs, giving it to IOD. And now I'm going to talk to you about the last 2 plays. On third down, if you look here, Swiss is this team's MVP. If they had a team MVP, it'll be Swiss. He brought not only energy, he brought leadership and experience. And this is a great play by him with the blitz. He blitzed most of the time this season, and he's able to knock the pass down. That's a great play by Swiss. And it's this next down on 4th down as they try to get the first. If you look at this defense has everybody covered. Look at this play. Look at the offensive players. Everybody is covered. That's great defense by IOD, giving the ball back to the offense.
And that's going to be the difference maker. These guys got to lock up whatever team that they face. FOE, even though they may not be as strong as they would be with Twan here, they still have a lot of playmakers on this team, like I said before. So IOD is not taking no chances, and they're locking everybody up. That's impressive defense there.
IOD's going to get the ball on second down. He's going to throw the ace in the middle for a nice gain, getting them near the 10-yard line. Third down, IOD on 4 rush, throws the Brandon in the back of end zone, high and incomplete. 4th down at the 10-yard line, IOD is blitzed by Ghostface. We're blocking from Johnny and Akon. IOD throws the Buck in the back of the end zone. Ja gets a hand in it, but it's still caught by Buck for the touchdown. Hummer gets a 2-point conversion, 8-0. IOD takes the lead. Ja has to get that pick. He had his hands on it. He practically had the ball. You cannot make that mistake, especially against a number 2 seed. You got to pick that ball off.
And the thing about it is, he's one of those people that during the season, he's able to make those plays. It's unfortunate. This could have been a big play for them to, make something happen in this first half. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them.
Second down, Dave on 4 rush, throws a bop on the sideline, almost picked off by Gotti. If you look here, Dutch is wide open in the gap, and Dave misses him. Third down, Dave gets blitzed by Swiss, who spin past White Boy. Dave pitches it to White Boy, who's tagged by Lou for a short loss if we have to punt. That's once again Swiss showing the ability to beat the blockers. And this, they have to understand, 2 downs in a row, 2 drives in a row, Swiss blitzed on third down. So you would figure that they would know it was coming. They don't pick up the block, and Lou comes away with a great tag in order to neutralize that offense. They're going to have to punt. Ali's going to get the ball back. 2 passes in the gap to get him to the 20-yard line. Third down, Ali is blitzed by Ghostface, who gets past Johnny and Ace. Ali throws the Buck in the middle of the end zone, picked off by Ja. FOE gets the ball back, and this is the same play Ja pretty much dropped last time. This time he picked it off, and the intense pressure made Adi make a bad throw.
And like you said, this is something that he something that he missed in the last play. He ends up making up for it here, and this is Ja. This is why he's one of their best playmakers. He's able to come in and pick this one off out of nowhere. That's a great defensive play, getting his offense back on the field.
Second down, Dave on 4 rush, throws a White Boy in the middle, low, incomplete. Third down, Dave is blitzed by Swiss. Tries to throw, but loses it. Tips it to Ghostface, who's tagged for a short loss. FOE has to punt. 3 consecutive downs on third down, Swiss blitz, and they're unable to pick it up. The pressure by Swiss is causing FOE not to be able to advance the ball. Once again, they have to punt.
And the thing about it is, where are their blockers? Where's Milt? Where's BX? Both of these guys were there to protect Dave. Dave does not have nobody. He's under pressure. He is not being protected. And because of that, all of these, because he was under pressure, especially on that third down play, he's not able to do nothing because he has no time in the backfield. He has no time in the pocket.
Well, Milt is not in New York. I got the text from him. He moved. Shout out to Milt. But unfortunately, BX ain't here. Who was another decent blocker.
But that's why I said both.
Yep.
You know, obviously
Absolutely.
Milk not being here hurts them, but BX should be their backup blocker. He is not here either, and because of that, Dave was struggling in the pocket.
Adi with 2 passes to Brandon in the gap for a decent game. Last time at the 15-yard line, Adi with blocking from Johnny. Finds Buck in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Just gets past Ghostface for the touchdown here. Roger gets the interception on the extra point, 14-0. Great play by Adi with the pitch and catch to Buck. Finds him in the end zone for the touchdown. Buck just gets past Ghostface, and that's the score, 14-0.
And this IOD team is actually taking advantage of the lack of defense of FOE. Seems like FOE is starting to fall apart early in this first half because Dave is struggling and not able to get anything done on offense. I think it's spilling into the defense, and it's affecting their play right now.
Second down, Dave throws to the receiver on the sideline for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Dave throws to Roger, cutting in the guy for a decent game. Last play before half, Dave is blitzed by Swiss, throws it up out of bounds, taking us into the half, 14-0. If I'm FOE, I'm on panic mode because at the end of the day, we're not able to make plays offensively. Dave is not able to, one, get time in order to find players, and when he does have time, everybody's covered. That is the recipe for disaster. We really need Twan. Twan could play better right now with one arm than we could play with two, so we're in trouble right now.
And IOD is doing every single thing right in this first half. That's exactly how you're supposed to come out and start this game, playing defense, locking up, pressuring the quarterback. It's crazy that on third down, it's an obvious blitz coming. IOD is telegraphing that blitz. They don't care because they know that they can't stop them. So they're coming in with the blitz, putting pressure on Dave, knowing that Dave is not a person that can handle the pressure and throw well. They have to, if they can keep doing this in the second half, it's all she wrote for FOE.
We're going to start in the second half. Adi with blocker from Johnny. Throws to Brandon on the sideline. With blocker from Ace, Brandon runs for a nice game, picking up the first down. Then Adi on 4 rush. Runs for a decent game, getting him to the 3-yard line. Adi running. Adi's not really known as a running guy, but he's a bad man. And when you see him in this type of zone, you know you're in trouble. Second to go, Adi finds Brandon in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Buck gets a 2-point conversion. 22-0. If you look here, Adi has way too much time. And when you give the bad man that much time, he is going to slice you up. And he does it here, 22-0.
FOE is in trouble because Adi is feeling his groove right now. He's getting it to his receivers. They're scoring at will at this point. And there's no way I see IOD's defense slowing down at this point. So FOE needs a huge play, almost a miracle at this point because everything is clicking for IOD right now.
FOE gets the ball back. After a short pass for a first down, Dave throws a Fred in the gap for a decent game. But if you look here, this is a great hit by Akon. And once again, you know what we say on this show.
If he dies, he dies.
That is a great hit by Akon. Flag comes out. I think it was because they had illegal contact. I know it wasn't for the hit because that was a great hit. This is why they got Akon.
And that's another plus that IOD has. Not only are they already physical, but they added another physical guy that like Akon that fits right in and actually upgrades their physical play in the middle. So guys
replacing Gil.
Yes, replacing Gil. So my thing is, a lot of guys are gonna think twice about coming over the middle, knowing that Akon's there putting hits on like that.
Second down, Dave throws deep to Roger, who has a step on Akon. That's going to be dropped. And if you're Roger, you got to make that catch. That's a good throw by Dave to get it to him with the mismatch. Roger has a little more speed than Akon, but Roger's not able to come through with a catch. 4th and long, Dave on 4 rush, throws a Ghostface in the corner of the end zone, off target, incomplete, turnover announced. That is another stop by this IOD defense.
And like I said, FOE has nothing in the tank right now. IOD is destroying them every single way that they can. They're getting physical, they're locking up. Whatever you ask IOD to do on this field, they're able to do. FOE has to find something in this next drive if they have the time. If they don't, we pretty much is going to see IOD move on.
3rd and long, Adi on 4 rush, throws deep to Ace, wide open in the gap. The pass is going to be caught by Ace, and Ace is going to pitch it to Swiss, who runs all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Luke gets the extra point, 30-0, and IOD does this better than any team in touch football. The pitch play, And they score on this one.
And this is instantly, and you could tell right away. You see Swiss already prepared for the pitch. It looks like Ace is going out of bounds or about to be tagged. Right as he catches it, he sees Swiss. Perfect pitch to Swiss. Swiss has a free release all the way into the end zone.
Second down, Dave is blitzed by Swiss. Dave passes blocked by Swiss, incomplete. Last down, Dave on 4 rush loses the ball as Lou rushes, incomplete. Ending the game, IOD coming away with the win, eliminating FOE 30-0.
And this was all IOD football from beginning to end. FOE had no answer. They had no response. They had no chance in this game. Was it because of how they ended the season? Was that an indicator of how they were gonna play in the playoffs? The only people you can ask is them, because only they know the answer. Obviously things started going downhill when Twan got hurt. You saw a different FOE team. They weren't as strong coming out and performing the way that they were. Not to say that Twan is every single thing, but obviously when your main guy goes down, it hurts your team, and it showed, and especially in this game here.
IOD's we're gonna have an interview with IOD, with Adi from IOD, and we're gonna be right back. What's going on? Stephen J here with Adi, quarterback of IOD, just won 29-0. Y'all look like from the beginning, you kind of struggled the first drive, but you seem like you was tuned in the beginning. A lot of teams kind of go down, they don't be up. Y'all seem like y'all was focused on the beginning of the game. What brought that such focus?
We just had a team meeting, and we've been slacking on offense, so we had to pick it up this game for the playoffs.
You seem to be able to, once you got comfortable, move the ball, get a lot of different people involved. What did you see on their secondary that you knew what to attack?
I already knew they wasn't going to jump into man, at all. They never matched up man last week, so I went off that and just attacked their whole front line in the middle.
Coming into next week, what changes now with your team's focus coming into the second round?
Nothing changes. We focus from this game on. We focus is either chip or nothing.
All right, we're going to thank Adi for being here with us. IOD moves on. They win this game 29-0 over FOE. Thanks. Straight points, right to the facts. And IOD is not here to play with nobody this season. They're trying to get to the chip. And they wanted to end this game quick and early. And that's exactly what they do. Now, I know we last year we used to do the funny R&R and stuff like that. But we're going to change it up this year. We're going to go to the re-up. And this is where you're going to see certain things right now. One, this team got to get Herbie back. Herbie was out with the knee injury. He's their best player. They have to get him back. That's one. Two, they got to get Twan healthy. He was their Defensive Player of the Year candidate and also Rookie of the Year candidate. Definitely got to get him healthy. Three, they got to give Dave time. Every time Dave was under pressure, his field position dropped. I'm going to give you Dave's numbers right now really quick. Dave had 9 touchdowns, 12 picks, 5 sacks. Dave is not a runner. So why does he only have 5 sacks to 12 picks? What does that mean? When he was under pressure, he threw interceptions.
Yeah.
Or his sacks would be higher. Can't do that. So you got to give him some protection or give him some checkdowns. This is what I think they need to do for their re-up.
So to piggyback off of that, they need to do all of that, and I still expect a lot of their other playmakers to step up and find ways to get open for Dave. Like you said, more checkdowns. They need to chop the ball more. They need to do more crossing routes. There's a lot of plays that I saw with FOE where everybody's deep and Dave has no target to protect himself with the safety valve. So he has nobody to go to. So now he's throwing more interceptions because he has to take more risks. There's nobody short. They got to have a better scheme moving their offense. I think their offense is what really killed them this season. They had potential offense early, but they always fell apart when they needed them most. So if they're able to do that, especially all the things that you suggested, all of these things are being done for next season, I think that they have a better shot next year.
Right, we're going to wrap this one up, and that's where we're going to close out the re-up for FOE.
Yes.
IOD moves on to the next round. They eliminate FOE 30-0. We'll be right back on Road Tough Talk. Next game up, Dutchmen versus Wolverines. These teams met in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Dutchmen came away with a close win by a touchdown. Nelson was throwing. Nelson's not with this team anymore.
With the Wolverines.
Yeah, Nelson threw for the Wolverines. He's not
Yeah.
here anymore. And at that time, they had Nick throwing. They got Chris now, who is better than Nick.
The Dutchman had
Dutchman,
Nick, yeah.
So let me make that clear. Dutchman had Nick throwing, but now they got their starter, Chris. They found a gem. Chris is a great quarterback. Love his speed. Love the things that he can do. He just has to not turn the ball over. I have rumors that heard that he needs to learn to command his offense because I was told by inside source, several guys talk in his huddles. He does not have command of that huddle.
But it's hard to say that you have command of another guy's huddle. You know, it's not his team. Obviously, he didn't, he's joining into this team. So it's...
But in Weeks Lane, his team that he throws for, I've seen the same thing this past Friday that I just did the games where everybody's talking in his huddle. He needs to learn to control his own huddle. Until then, it's always going to be chaos.
Hopefully he does. If he can't do it on his own team, it's hard to expect him to do it to a team that he is guesting in, that he's just joining. So that's a issue that he has to deal with moving forward. Another thing is he has to have another target besides Chris. Chris, the receiver, has been having a great season this year, an all-star worthy season. Playing lights out whenever he's able to connect with Chris. I haven't seen too many teams able to stop him moving downfield. It hasn't translated to wins for this team as much as they needed to, but it was effective enough. Somebody has to step up other than him for this team, whether it be Nook, whether it be Brian, whether it be Steve, or any of these guys need to step up and become a target for Chris. If it's just Chris, the receiver, then once he's locked up, it's all she wrote for your offense.
All right, we're going to jump right into the game. Dutchman gets the ball. Chris shakes Pablo and throws a Frank in the middle for a nice game, picking up the first down. Chris then throws a Brian on the sideline and gets him to the 7-yard line. Chris then finds Chris cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0. CNC connects again.
They attacked him right away before they actually have their chance to, get things together on their defense. The Dutchman attack. Chris attacks this defense and gets through in the gaps, drives down the field, and is able to get a quick score.
After getting the first down, Joseph throws a liner in the gap. That's dropped. Third down, Joseph gets blitzed by Alex. Throws a liner in the gap for a decent game, but the Wolverines can't get any further. They'll have to punt. Second down, Chris on 4 rush. Throws deep to Chris on the sideline over Sam for a nice catch. Sam can't guard Chris. Too much speed, and they get exposed there. Chris then on third down throws deep to Chris wide open on the sideline for a big game, picking up the first down. Third and goal, Chris finds Frank in the corner end zone for the touchdown. Brian gets an extra point, 13-0. And we know Chris can find the other Chris, but now when Chris getting Frank involved, now you're in real trouble.
The Wolverines weren't able to see where Chris the receiver and all of these guys were. If you see this play here where he gets past Sam, Sam doesn't even know that Chris is on the sideline. By the time he sees him looking there, he tries to make a play. He has no idea where he's throwing it to. It goes right over his head, and Chris has that easy pass that helps him drive down the field for the score.
On the kickoff, Dutchmen go onside. Joseph misses the ball. It's going to be recovered by Georgie, giving it back to the Dutchman. Chris throws short to Butter in the gap to get them to the 10-yard line. Second down, Chris gets blitzed by Lou. Throws a Nick in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Cuba gets the extra point, 20-0. If you look here, it's too much space on the defense, and Chris is able to find it.
And again, because this defense is actually playing both sides, eventually they're going to get worn down. And because the Dutchmen have been attacking them head on right away, the Wolverines team can't keep up. They don't have too many guys that can stretch out and guard these guys crossing all the way across the field. So because of that, the Dutchmen are getting them. Chris is finding and picking apart their defense every single time.
Joseph then throws a Christian who runs in the middle for a nice gain. Joseph throws a Christian again for a decent gain in the middle. Last down, Joseph gets blitzed. Throws a Christian cutting in the front of the end zone, off target, incomplete, turnover on downs. Joseph is the starting quarterback now. attempting to move the ball, really struggling. Christian, who is their best player on this team, Christian's their best player. He's attempting to do everything he can. He was open cutting in the end zone, but his off-target turnover on down.
And it's unfortunate because they started to move the ball there, and it didn't translate into anything. Christian has to be their go-to guy in this game. They got to find ways to get him open, have players designed for him, because he's been their only consistent guy in the last couple of games in the regular season. So if you need to move the ball, you need to be looking for him, Joseph.
Last play before half, Chris going to throw it up, picked up by Johnny, taking us into the half 20-0. If I'm the Wolverines, we got to find a way to get Christian the ball. He's our best weapon. Then Sam has to get more involved in the passing game. He's a tight end. He has size, and he can catch the ball. We got to find a way to get those two guys involved. Now, is Joseph the best player we have, best quarterback in the world? No, but he's what we got. We got to find a way to make things easy for him. If that's those dump offs, something. We got to find a way to get him more confident and get Christian more touches.
And the Dutchmen actually, they attacked right away. They did what they were supposed to do in the first half. Exhaust their defense, put pressure on Joseph, keep him uncomfortable in the pocket, make sure that none of these guys are able to step up and get anything done. They had a couple of plays with Christian, but that's all they would allow at this point. And because of that, I don't see them doing any more if the Dutchman is able to keep up the way they are in the first.
After getting the short pass for the first down, Joseph throws to Johnny on the sideline, low and drop. Joseph then gets a flag for cursing. Third down, Joseph scrambles, throws a Hail Mary. The pass is just dropped by lineman. Wolverines going to have to punt. And this is the issue that the Wolverines have been having all season long. Cursing, but not as much. But they was cursing in the beginning. They slowed that down. But drop passes is what they did. They led the league in drops this year.
And who knows how good this team could have been if they would catch all of those passes. It's not, oh, the defense was too tough and it was locking up and it was hard catches. A lot of these catches that they've been dropping throughout the season and spilling into the playoffs were routine passes.
Yeah.
And dropping those is literally going to stagnate your drive every single time. That's exactly what's been happening to them this season, and it's translating to how they're playing in the playoffs.
Chris on second down throws deep to Chris, wide open in the middle, caught and ran in for the touchdown. Steve gets the extra point, 27-0. If you look here, Chris gets right by the safeties. Nobody picks him up, and one thing Chris can do is stretch the football field, 27-0.
And the crazy thing about it is the way he gets through the defenses is like they don't see him out there. He literally gets right through the safeties. They don't notice until after the ball is thrown. By then, it's too late. I'm not saying that Chris is the fastest person on the planet, but he's fast enough to get there, and by the time they notice, it's a touchdown.
Joseph on four rush, throws a Lou in the middle, knocked away by Frank. Joseph then hands the ball up to Johnny. Johnny loses it, plays dead, ending the game. Dutchmen come away with the win, 27-0.
And the way it ended was literally literally a glimpse into their whole season. Even a handoff, they can't hold the ball. That was dropped. You know, that's unfortunate because again, you can't see the real potential of a team if they can't get anything done, especially when you can't catch routine passes.
Dutchman is going to move on. They're going to end up eliminating the Wolverines, and they're going to move on to play the number one seed, them Getters, who a lot of people think the Dutchman team could beat. But we're going to talk about, I'll let you talk about the three things Wolverines need for the re-up.
First of all, the first and foremost, and the obvious thing, they got to catch the ball. They got to, develop better hands out there. I don't know what it was, but a lot of these guys have butterfingers. Everything slips right through their fingers. And because of that, they were struggling throughout the whole season this year. The second issue is figuring out who their quarterback is going to be the next time the next time they come out. They got to find out who is going to be their definite quarterback. Joseph has some potential to be a good quarterback as well, but I didn't see enough of him, and because they dropped the majority of his passes, there's hardly any way of knowing how good he could have been this season and moving forward. So that's another situation that they have to settle. And the third, and I think is just as important, is who is going to be their team's leader. They had a couple of guys that showed glimpses of that. You know, obviously Sam is one of their leaders, but who's going to be like their team captain, the person that they rally around on the field, the person that gets them into the game, the person that keeps them together, that, you know, gets their morale going, gets them fired up for the game, and makes big plays for them to want to do the same. You know, I've seen a couple of guys. Lionel had a couple plays this season. Sam, you know, relatively inconsistent. One person that stood out for me was Christian, who did as much as he could for this team. He tried to throw for this team when they needed him to. He was able to be a receiver up top and down the field. Whatever he needed to, he was trying his best to do.
The question is, can they keep him?
Yes.
Is he going to stay?
And obviously, though, that's a formula for a leader for your team, a person that you can rally behind. Will he stay with this team, though? Will he be able to take the helm as a team captain or the team leader? Will he be able to do that? Does he even want to do that? That's on them. That's something that they have to figure out for themselves.
I mean, to piggyback off of that, I think Christian shows that he was one of their best players. After all the so-called superstars that they went out and got didn't play, but he showed some immaturity this season. He has talent, but in order to be a leader, he has to be a little more mature. But the kid has talent. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the immaturity came from frustration.
Yeah.
You get tired of losing because he's their best player. He got beat up a lot.
Yeah.
At quarterback, at receiver. So, you know, that's understandable. Sam is another one who has to decide what is his role on the team. If he's going to lead, then he has to be the guy that goes and gets the groceries. You know what I mean? We always say, in order to stir the pot, in order to make the meal, to make the team, you have to be able to go get the groceries. You know, Maine was the guy that went out and got these players, but these are not the players that Sam wanted. Mm-hmm. So now Sam has to go out and get the groceries on his own and decide who's going to come in, who wants to be a part of this Wolverines team and help us get to the next level. Remember, a few years back, we seen 99 go 2-8. Following year, they're in the chip. Finally, after that, they're the number one seed. So it can turn around. You have to go and get the groceries in order to make the meal. If he wants him to prepare the meal himself, he has to go get his own groceries. So that's what we're going to say these teams need to do in order for their re-up. Dutchmen is going to move on with the blowout win, eliminated the Wolverines 27-0. We're going to be right back. Welcome back. Next game we want to talk about is Never Scared versus Super Friends. The number 3 versus the number 6. Mm-hmm. And these teams met in the regular season. In the regular season, when they met, Super Friends, the defending UFL champs, was able to win 13-7. In a very close game, Deion threw 2 touchdowns to B-Roy, one to B-Roy, one to Chris. Creep got an interception. B-Roy got a sack. Fred threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He found Norm for the touchdown. That was a very close game. The issue with that game for me for Never Scared was Sean. Sean, who is Never Scared's best player, Super Friends was able to neutralize him and stop him from bringing the pain like he's done to every other team in the season.
And the thing about it is he had 7 touchdowns this season. They played 8 games. That was one of the games where he did not score. So it's rare to keep Sean from scoring in a game, but because Super Friends was able to lock him down, that's why I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why that game ended the way it did. Put him on the scoreboard, and that would have been a different game. But because Super Friends was able to pay attention and neutralize him wherever Fred was looking for him, it made it very hard for Never Scared to get anything else done, and because of that, they came up short in that game. I think that we're going to see more of that in this game because Super Friends already understand that Fred has a go-to guy in Sean. They already know the connection that they have. So they're going to be watching, they're going to be paying attention, and they're going to be looking for Sean and his routes. They're not going to make it any easier than they already have. They're not going to make it easy at all for Fred to connect with Sean. So Fred has to find ways around that by getting other guys into the game.
Start with the game, Never Scared getting the ball. 3rd down near the 50-yard line. Fred is blitzed by B-Roy. Throws deep to Sean, who is guarded by Dez. Just misses Sean, incomplete. Sean believes it's pass interference. What do you think?
I don't believe that this is pass interference. This is very close. That's the discretion call. Bang, bang.
But you don't think?
Any way you call it, because if you look here, the way when Sean is going for the ball here, it looks like he was not going to get the ball anyway. It was just missed by Sean. And right then and there, Dez puts his hand on Sean as the ball is right there in the vicinity. So it's right there to the point where you're not going to throw a pass interference for that, because it's almost instantaneous when the ball gets there. That's just good defense, and I'm not going to call it anything else.
After a short pass for the first down, Fred throws deep to Just, knocked away by B-Roy. Fred then gets blitzed by B-Roy, is blocked by Eric, but B-Roy pushes him back. Fred throws to Sean on the sideline, incomplete, never scared, that's the punt. That is a great defensive stand by the defending champs to shut Super Friends, to shut Never Scared down on Never Scared's first drive.
And the crazy thing about it is Eric has been a capable blocker for this team this season. Able to protect Fred no matter who comes in. But B-Roy seems like he's more of a match for Eric than anybody else he's faced so far, because B-Roy's able to push him back, have Fred scrambling, and because of that, I think that affected that pass and kept him from getting anything done there.
During the punt, Chris runs with blocking, gets him to their own 45. But if you look here, Norman gets flagged for slamming Dez. 15-yard penalty in the first down. What do you think of the penalty?
That's a clear penalty. You can see it clear as day. Dez gets slammed by Norm as Dez is trying to block the for the punt. So that's a clear penalty. So wherever it ends, the ball ends up, you got to have yards stacked on top of that. There's no disputing that flag was merited. Second
down, Dion with a screen pass to Mason on the sideline, who gets him all the way to the 5-yard line. Great screen pass. Super Friends does that screen better than anybody in touch football. 4th and goal, Dion finds D. White cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0, Super Friends take the lead.
And because they had such great field position from that punt, all it took was a few plays, especially that screen there for 10 yards, getting them into scoring position, Dwight finishing off with that touchdown catch.
After Fred runs for a first down with blocking from Eric, Fred throws to Sean in the gap for a nice gain. Last down, Fred on 4 rush throws it up. Alex with the great one-handed pick, giving the ball back to Super Friends. But something that we always show, if it's good, it's good. We're going to show it. Just like my man Drago says.
If he dies, he dies.
Look at this hit with Eric with a nice block on Golo. We usually see Golo give these out. This time he's taking it. And like Drago said, if he dies, he dies.
And the thing about it seems like Golo rushing full force runs into a wall the way Eric makes this block. That was a great block there. Like I said, Golo walked right into a wall running full force. The Alex catch, I'm not even going to talk about that as much, because normally that'll be a you got Moss, but nobody jumped with Alex. And that's a typical Alex catch. Yeah. So that's a good interception, but it's plain for me seeing Alex do something like that.
Third down, 3rd and long. Dion is blitzed by Matt, blocked by Gutter. Dion throws Alex on the sideline, way off target, picked off by Rara, giving Never Scared back the ball. Great defensive stop by Never Scared.
And this is something that Never Scared desperately needs at this point in the game. Hopefully they can capitalize off of this, but that's great defense by Rara with the pick.
Fred throws to Sean in the gap for a nice gain. Then 3rd down, Fred is blitzed and sacked by B-Roy. B-Roy gets Eric this time. Eric gets caught sleeping. Great sack by B-Roy. 4th down, Fred on 4 rush throws it up. Picked off by Dez, who's going to run all the way down the sideline, all the way for the touchdown. 12-0. Super Friends take the further lead.
And right now, it's starting to see, it's too much Super Friends right now. This team has been locking up, making Fred's job a nightmare out there. They are not letting anybody get through. Sean is covered, and nobody else is able to do anything against this Super Friends defense. They're also pressuring him with the rush. B-Roy is almost unblockable at this point. He comes in with that impressive blitz. Eric is not able to respond in time. He comes in easy with the sack. Plays like that is what puts up points for your defense, and that's exactly what Super Friends does.
Super Friends go onside, drop by Just, recover by Creep. Super Friends get the ball back. That is a huge drop by Just. It's already 12-zip. You can't do that to your team. He makes the drop, and Creep is there for the recovery. Next drive, Dion throws deep to a wide open Alex in the middle of the end zone for the touchdown. Sean gets the interception, extra point, but it's 18-0, Super Friends.
And now it's already now you already see Never Scared's team falling apart. Now that you can't even get an onside throw, a routine catch, this should be, it was not, and because of that, Super Friends gets an actual gift given to them by Never Scared with that dropped onside throw.
After picking up the first down, Fred, with AB beating Eric here, throws deep to Matt on the sideline, picked off by Prince Mo. If you look here, Kenny puts up a nice block here, runs it all the way back to the end zone for the touchdown. Alex gets a 2-point conversion, 28-0. But if you look at Julio, he was wide open on the other side, and Fred does not find him. Super Friends take the further lead.
And the thing about it is because of the way AB was able to get through the block. Because he's able to get through the block, Fred is scrambling. He doesn't even see, because once he gets past, he doesn't know where AB is at. AB is being blocked by Eric, but Fred doesn't know that. As soon as he gets through the way he does, Fred is under pressure. He makes a throw. He's not looking at the other side of the field, so there's no way he was able to see Julio. That's a great way to pressure Fred and make him nervous and make him forcing him to throw that pass. That's great defense overall.
We're going to go into the half now. If I'm Never Scared, I don't know what's going on. We're not looking like the way we looked this season. This team was able to pretty much neutralize Sean, keep him out the end zone. Fred threw 2 pick sixes, something that he does not do, and we're in trouble. We're already losing 26-0. We got to find out to come out the second half and do something, because what we did the first half is not working. We need to scrap that whole idea and try something different in the second half.
And to Super Friends, 2 things that they're doing that's helping them win this game right now, overwhelmingly. They're locking down on Sean, and they're pressuring Fred. Those are the 2 things that they're doing that's giving them that has the score the way it is right now. Because again, Fred has no target downfield. He has no target to actually stretch the field, so that they're able to put pressure and send extra guys to pressure Fred. Because they're getting through the block by Eric, they're mixing up the people that they're rushing. Every time they do that and they get a glimpse of them rushing in and getting past the block, Fred makes a throw, and a lot of times ends up being picked off. This is a routine that this defense needs to keep going on, because they're even putting up points for their team. If they do this, I don't see any way for Never Scared to respond towards the end of the game.
Second half, Deion throws the creep, cutting in the gap. Tip picked off by Matt, giving it back to Never Scared. And that's what we need. We needed a turnover. They're able to get it. Great stop by Never Scared. Stop the Super Friends coming out the half. 3rd and long, front on 4th down. Throws a Julio in the middle for a nice gain, getting him to the 45-yard line. Last down, Fred throws a Sean in the gap, knocked away by Dez. Turnover on downs, giving it back to Super Friends.
What else can I say? The Super Friends is lights out on defense. They're not letting anything through. Where was this Super Friends defense throughout the season? I think that they were taking breaks in the season, but for whatever reason, the switch has been turned on for the Super Friends team, because their defense is playing dynamic in this game right now, and they have not slowed down in the second half.
Deion with 3 passes for a nice gain, getting him to the 10-yard line. Last down, Deion gets blitzed by the mat. Steps up, throw to Vadim in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. AB gets an extra point, 34-0. And look at this play by Deion. If that's not an on-the-money no-look, I don't know what is. Great play by Deion.
And the funny thing is, we've seen this before, somewhere, like in this play here, the championship game. An extra point here. He catches their defense with the same no look. It seems like there's a lot of teams that still haven't figured this out. Deion does this perfectly, the same exact way. Sean leaves the corner thinking that he's not looking over there, and because he looks away, Deion throws it right there. All he does is turn his head and gets the defense moving. That's an impressive way to score yet another touchdown in this game.
Front on 4 rush, throws to Sean on the sideline, tipped by Prince Mo, picked off by Dez, who runs it on the sideline all the way to the end zone for the touchdown, ending the game 40-0. Super Friends blow out Never Scared.
And this is by far the highest scoring game we had in the regular season and in the playoffs so far. Obviously, it's the first week of the playoffs, but we haven't seen a 40-0 game in a long time in the UFL, because the average most teams score is 14 or more, 2 touchdowns. What team can say that they've had 3 touchdowns and 3 pick sixes in the same exact game? I don't know any team that's ever been able to do that. Not in this league. And it's hard for me to remember the last time it happened in most other leagues.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yes, especially in the playoffs. This team came on, a switch was turned on, and as soon as this team came on the field, a lot of people would say that Never Scared never had a chance as Super Friends came out and turned on the switch when they were ready for this game.
Super Friends played Never Scared in the regular season, won 13-7.
Mm-hmm.
Sean didn't score. Super Friends played Never Scared in the playoffs and won 40-0. Sean didn't score. Sean was targeted 6 times, caught 2 passes. And one of those passes was taken back for a pick 6. That's how you beat him. They shut down the one thing Fred likes to do. He didn't have any other weapons. Julio's a nice piece. He wasn't a big-time weapon. Ouija's a nice piece. He wasn't a big-time weapon. This team did not have a lot of weapons. Sean was their main guy. He's a guy that's up there for Offensive Player of the Year. He's the guy that's up there for Most Improved Player. He was neutralized. In the second half, he had no catches in the second half. First half, he made 2 catches. Decent gains, nothing crazy. First drive, 2 targets, no catches. Second drive, 1 target, decent catch. Third drive, 1 target, decent catch. Second half, 2 targets, no catches, pick 6, no touchdowns. They neutralized what they like to do, and they beat them 40-0 with that. Well, we're going to go to the Super Friends. They had an interview at the end of the game. We're going to see what pumped them up and had them going.
What's going on? Stephen J here with Coach Tone and Kenny of the Super Friends. Y'all came out the most focused today than y'all have looked all season. What was the reasons that?
Well, finally everyone's healthy, so that helps.
It's playoffs.
It's playoffs. Switch got cut on.
Kenny, we seen you stop a lot of what Fred likes to do. Sean is his go-to man. Sean was pretty much neutralized, didn't have any big plays. You kind of slowed him down. What was your plan coming into the game versus him in that offense?
You just wanted to show Fred like different looks, confuse him a little bit. Fred's a good quarterback. We just wanted to confuse him, and that's what we did.
We seen, Brian was on your team last year. He left, he's with the Spartans, but you brought a guy like Dez, who was a little more athletic, got a little more speed. We seen 2 pick sixes today. What does he bring to your team that y'all didn't have last year?
Just like you said, speed and athleticism at the safety position.
What got y'all so focused for this playoff game? What was it? Defending the title?
The video, the Super Friend Championship video got us lit.
And the fact that y'all put "Can We Defend?" that was, kind of smack in the face. Wake up call.
Wake up call, not smack in the face.
All right, we're going to thank them for being here with us. They beat Never Scared 40-0. See y'all next week. Thank you.
Well, it was the video. So they was ready to defend the title. So much respect to them. We're going to jump into the re-up for Never Scared. 1, their best receiver, Sean, 8 touchdowns. Tied for the lead in touchdown receptions. Had a really good season. Need another weapon for him. Another guy that can at least stretch the field. Sean can do it, but once the teams clamped down on him, they had nothing else. That's 1. 2, this team lost too many close games. They need to learn how to put games away. That's been another issue they have. They gave away the game they gave away against FOE. Was a winnable game, but they gave that game away. A lot of close games they gave away.
They also gave away a Carver game that same day. So,
exactly. Yeah. That's 2. And the third thing they have to do is they have to be able to sack the quarterback. Smoke had 8 sacks. 8 sacks. This team had 10 combined. Smoke is a giver. If you could get a linebacker, somebody that can blitz the passer, you're in business. The next guy they had 2. You know who was that? Matt. He's not a blitzer. Matt is an undersized corner. No, he's not the guy you want blitzing the quarterback. This team did not put enough pressure on the quarterback, which is the reason why they couldn't put games away.
Yeah. If you're not able to pressure the quarterback, that's one of the main reasons why they're able to score so much points on you. So that has to change for them next season. Hopefully they take this advice because they surely need these moves in order for them to improve and be better contenders next year. They had a decent season throughout. I don't think that it was a season that they wanted. I don't think that it was a season that they needed this year. Hopefully they can fix it.
Fred had a good year.
Yeah.
Quarterback had a good year.
That's one of the highlights of the year for them. Fred had a great year for them. Sean, breakout year for him. Obviously contender for most improved, contender for offensive player of the year, contender for MVP. So many awards that this guy is a contender for and was well deserved. Hopefully,
I think their record is gonna hurt him for MVP.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, regardless of what he wins or what he doesn't, this needs to be a consistent thing with Sean. If he's able to come out consistently like this, I think that they're in for a potential superstar in the making if he's able to keep playing the way he is.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. Super Friends come away with the win, defending their title, 40-0 over Never Scared. We're gonna be right back. Real Tough Talk. All right, people, we're back. Real Tough Talk. We're going to go over the next playoff game, which is Shockers versus Carver Mobb. Now, a lot of people said this game has the potential to be an upset. I think Ramsey is a very dangerous quarterback. He has the ability to escape the pocket. He can throw on a run, and he throws one of the prettiest, strongest deep balls downfield in touch football. Definitely got a strong arm and definitely has the ability to make plays.
Well, a couple weeks ago during the regular season, he wore a shirt or a sweater that said Gunslinger on the back. That perfectly describes Ramsey because that's exactly what he is. But another thing that it should have had on there was Gambler, because that's another thing that we've been calling him. I've been calling him all season because he does take risks. He's one person that's high risk, high reward type person, but a lot of times that comes back to bite him. Hopefully he doesn't take too much risk in this game because Carver's a team that will capitalize almost every single time.
And he's playing against Carver's coming in trying to, this is the first round of the playoffs for them, trying to regain what they feel they lost, which is their title game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They lost the Final Four versus the Super Friends, but they have won 3 championships in this league. They have won since they've been here, and this team only has an amazing 1 playoff loss in this season, in their UFL career. It's not a lot of teams that can say that. And this team definitely is trying to regain that championship pedigree form team that they had 2 years ago.
And obviously they're on a mission from last season, like you just said, that they, ended with a loss, something that they have never experienced before. So that's not something that they, are willing to sit down and let happen. So this season, they're coming. A lot of the guys made sure that they were here for this playoff game because regardless of who team they're playing, they're trying to get through every single obstacle and till they get back to the place that they feel that they belong.
In the regular season, Carver was able to beat the Shockers. I believe it was 19-0 as Chuck threw 3 touchdown passes. Vic caught 2, Cable caught 1. And they were able to pick off Ramsey. Joe Blow was able to pick off Ramsey as well as Ricky able to get a sack. So this team is attempting to go back and have an idea of how the Shockers play. So they're going to try to see if the same formula works. We're going to have to see in this game. Ramsey gets the ball. He's going to throw to Welch in the middle for a decent gain. Last down at the 50-yard line. Ramsey throws deep to Glenn, who has a step on juice. Glenn falls, incomplete, turnover on downs, but Alvaro gets called for cursing, but it's already a change possession. Last down near the 50-yard line, we said Ramsey went deep, but that is my issue with him. You got to get a first down, and he's taking a shot downfield. Yes, he had Glenn falls. Had Glenn not fell, we don't know what could have happened. But bottom line is, you're near the 50, got to find a way to get a first down, and he doesn't. He takes a shot deep.
But that's what we said all along. He's a gambler. He's a person that takes risks. He saw something downfield that he thought that he could catch Carver off guard. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him, and it leads to a turnover.
First and goal, Chuck throws a Chulo on the gap for a decent gain. Second down, Chuck is blitzed by Ozzie. Ricky picks up the block. Chuck throws the ball in the gap, who runs for a nice gain, getting him to the 10-yard line. Third and goal, Chuck finds Sal in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0, Carver strikes first.
And one weapon that the Shockers team needs to pay attention to is Sal. Every time he's on his field, he's very consistent in catching the ball and getting open. So that's a name that you may hear more about later in the game, because that's a big target for Chuck this game.
Second down, Ramsey throws deep to Glenn, wide open in the middle of the field, who runs in for the touchdown. If you look here, Jay didn't know Glenn got behind him. Where he gets the extra point, 7-6, calls the Pams to call a timeout.
Yes, because obviously their defense is not communicating properly. Right there, Jay had no idea that that Glenn got behind him. If he was called out, Jay would have been able to be prepared to catch up with him. He's not able to. By the time he figures it out, it's too late, and Glenn has a touchdown.
Chuck on third down throws a Ricky in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Chuck with blocker from Ricky throws the ball on the sideline for a nice game. Second down, Chuck is blitzed by Pig, throws to Joe Blow with blocking, runs to the 3-yard line. Third and goal. Chuck finds Bo cutting in front of the end zone for the touchdown. 12-7, Carver strikes right back.
And this is one thing that you have a problem with when you're facing Carver's offense. When you give Chuck too much space, he takes it in spades. He finds ways to get further than the yards that you give him. He's able to drive down the field and eventually score.
And as you can see, Pig attempted to blitz Chuck, and Chuck is able to find Joe Blow with blocking and runs all the way to the 3-yard line. This is a great setup play by Carver, practically like running the screenplay with the blitz coming in. That is a smart play by them, using Shaka's blitz against them, and then with them finding Bo in front of the end zone. Bo's a guy that stole from Wolverines.
Yeah.
He was supposed to play with them, play one game, left, came to Carver, and that is a big weapon because we had sources that told us he was supposed to sign with Super Friends, but Pam's doing what Pam's do, able to get him to come to Carver, and Bo's been a big weapon ever since he got there. Ramsey on forward scrambles, but is sacked by Mijo. Mijo's able to hold Ramsey's running ability. Big sack by him. He should be an all-star. Ramsey throws to Glenn, cutting in the middle for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Ramsey throws deep to Welch, cutting in the middle of the field for the touchdown. Ray gets the extra point on the tip, 14-12. You look here, Jalen sees him cutting too late, and they go downfield. And this is again, you see Carver talking about it. Ramsey got the 14-12 lead. They're talking this time. We've seen Pam talking to them the first time. Right now, Ramsey has scored back-to-back, and he's not scared of this Carver defense. He is attacking much different than the first time they met in the regular season.
And it seems like they're getting caught off guard in both of these throws. They don't understand that Ramsey takes these throws at any given moment. That's the type of quarterback he is. They have to communicate and know who they're passing off the receiver to. If they don't, things like this are going to happen more so in this game.
Shock is going to go for the onside. Glenn doesn't see the ball bounce near him. The ball goes out of bounds. That is huge. You cannot give Carver an opportunity. When you have opportunity to capitalize, you got to get it. And Glenn has to get this ball.
Right there, he was busy going to make a play, but he's not following where the ball is at. He has to be aware that if the ball lands near him, it's a free ball. It passes the 50, you go and get it. By the time he realizes it's already going out of bounds. Too bad for them.
After getting the first down, Chuck throws a Ricky on the sideline. Pig gets a hand in it as they fight for the ball and go out of bounds. Incomplete, and this is one of the plays that Shockers was arguing about. Pig get the hand in, they fight, they go out of bounds, incomplete. Shockers got upset with this call. They thought it should have been an interception, but if you see it, it's out of bounds. It's a good call by the refs. Refs got it right here.
And the thing about it that you got to understand is, based on the normal rules on plays like this, if they do call it that the ball was caught or somebody had possession, it will go to the offensive player. If both have the hand on it, it always goes to the offensive player. So the thing about it is the incomplete call is one thing that helps in favor of the Shockers. So you take it the way it is, that benefits you in the end.
Second down, Chuck throws a Sal open in the middle for a nice game. Third down, Chuck gets blitzed by Pig, throws a Sal in the back of the end zone. Sal makes the catch, both feet inbounds for the touchdown. 2-point conversion by White, 20-14. If you look here, Glenn lets Sal go by for a quick second, and that's enough time for Chuck to find him in the back of the end zone.
And Sal is killing him at this point. This is yet the second touchdown that Carver was able to get because of Sal. That big catch in the middle on second down is pretty much what hurt them. They could stop that play. This probably would have been a better defensive drive for them. Because they can't stop Sal at this point, now they're down by another score.
Ramsey's blitzed by Ricky, throws a Welch in the sideline for a nice game, picking up the first. Last play before half, Ramsey scrambles, throws it up, incomplete, taking us into the half, 20-14. If I'm the Shockers, Pig blitz is not working. Pig is not the same Pig that won Defensive Player of the Year. He's not a great blitzer anymore. I need to send somebody else, keep him in coverage because that's not working. Other than that, Ramsey got to keep being Ramsey. He can't play cautious now because that's not what got them the 2 touchdowns. Keep doing what you do. If you see it, go for it. When they down a score, we're okay.
And Carver, the one thing I could say about them is they got to communicate on defense a little bit better. They should know better what type of quarterback Ramsey is at this point. You know that Ramsey loves going deep. So you know what? You play him deep. Force him to drive down the field. Make him become a play-by-play quarterback. If you don't do that, he's going to kill you going downfield because he has almost his whole starting lineup can go deep for against your team, and they can kill you downfield. So you pay attention to that. Lock up on defense, communicate more, and I think they'll have a better game.
Second half, Chuck throws a Ricky in the gap for a nice game. Defense giving them too much space. Next down, Chuck throws the ball wide open in the gap, who runs for a big gain, pick up the first down. We talked about Bo early in the game. This is a huge pickup by Carver, and he's showing them that they got their money's worth. Chuck throws a sound in the middle for a decent gain, getting them to the 3-yard line. Second and goal, Chuck finds White in front of the end zone, who bobbles it, but still catches it after falling. Touchdown, 26-14, Carver.
And right now, Chuck is taking advantage of Shaka's defense or lack thereof. They're giving him too much space, and he's able to work and do a lot, especially giving it to Bo, who's able to create his own space. When you combine Chuck being a person that's mastered taking the space of the defense and using it against them, and Bo, who makes his own space, and you have a problem here, and he's able to use that to get to White in the end zone.
First down, Ramsey throws deep to Glenn in the middle. Short, picked off by Jalen. Carver gets the ball back, and that's one mistake you can't make if you're Ramsey. They just scored. You're down 26-14. You're down 2 scores. You have to score. If you're going to go deep, that's one thing you can't do is come up short with the pass, and Jalen makes a pay for it.
And it seems like at this point, the Shockers was arguing with the refs on certain calls, throughout the game. Regardless of if it was in your favor or not, you cannot let that dictate the way you play. And it seems like Ramsey just took a risk because he was frustrated. That is not something that you do at this point in the game. You still have a game on your hands if you play it right. It looked like on this one, he kind of gave it away with this throw.
After getting the first down, Chuck throws deep to Jalen, knocked away by Ramsey. But if you look here, Zed gets flagged for no giver. Now, in touch football, the giver's allowed to go 5 yards back, 5 yards to the left, 5 yards to the right, all within the quarterback. If you look at Zed, you can see he's way more outside than 5. That's like saying the ball giver can jam a wide receiver all the way in the sideline. Too far over, can't. That's a good call. They went crazy about the call, but that's an obvious call, good call by the refs.
And the thing about it is, you can't go that far just to chuck a receiver. You know Chuck is gonna use Chuck the quarterback is gonna use that against you, and because of that, they're called for a no giver. Chuck calls it. Chuck hikes it quick before he's able to get back in position. Because of that, they get flagged there.
Second down, Chuck on 4-rush scramble, stows the sound in the middle, off target, incomplete. Carver has to punt. They're gonna try to kill the clock. Right now it's 26-14. That is a big stop by Shockers. But I think Carver is more focused on running the clock out because they know Ramsey's dangerous with the ball. So even though you're up, you're trying to kill some of the clock, and that's what they're going to do. But that's a great stop by Shockers.
And they needed this stop, regardless of what happened with the flag or whatnot. This stop here is what starts their comeback.
First down, Ramsey throws deep to Ferrari on the sideline. Picked off by Juice, giving it right back to Carver. And if you look here, Ferrari must need an oil change because Juice was able to cover him and get the interception.
And this was clearly a play where Ferrari was covered. This was not an authorized throw. I don't think Ramsey should have threw this. He should see that the defense is waiting for him there. He takes yet another risk, not a good one in my opinion, and the defense takes advantage.
Chuck is going to hand the ball to Bo, who's going to run with blockers for a decent game, getting them near the 5-yard line. Third and goal, Chuck throws the Juice in the back of the end zone. That's going to be bobbled, picked off by Pig, giving it back to the Shockers. Clock is running. That is a great stop. Back-to-back stops by the Shockers on this Carver Mobb offense.
And that's great defense. That is a way that you stay focused on the ball and make a play. But these defensive plays have to be responded to by scoring the football. Scoring on your next drive. If they don't do that, then it's all she wrote.
Ramsey on 4 rush, just gets past Mijo, throws Ozzie in the gap for a nice gain. Ramsey then throws his head in the middle for a decent game, picking up the first down. Ramsey with 2 more passes for a nice gain, less than a minute left. 4th and goal. Ramsey on 4 rush, throws his head in front of the end zone, off target. Juice with the great one-hand pick interception, ending the game. Carver with the win, 26-14.
And I'm gonna say this: there was a game in the first half. Ramsey was catching them off guard with 2 deep passes. They were confused at that point, but I think afterwards the Shockers kind of took their attention away from the game and onto things like arguing with the refs, not staying together and keeping inside the game. And I think that's what made them lose focus, and that's what Carver took advantage of as they came ahead in the game. What you got to say?
Touch football, Brett Favre. Straight gunslinger. He doesn't know how to manage a game, though. I know we talk about game managers and people think those are guys that don't got big arms, can't put up points. That's not what it is. It's a guy that doesn't take too many chances. Ramsey in the first half scored 14 points. Not bad. Ramsey in the second half scored no points. Ramsey in the first half attempted to throw bombs that they scored on. Ramsey in the second half attempted to throw bombs that were interceptions. Ramsey had the ball 3 times in the second half. He threw 2 interceptions on first down on 2 of them, after his defense was able to make a stop. You can't do that. You can't do that. Your defense is not going to shut Carver down. This is one of the best football teams of all time. Also, a former 3-time UFL champ. Pams, if had not asked not to be on the nominees from once he got in the league, could have won numerous Coaches of the Year. Chuck already won Offensive Player of the Year. Chuck already won Quarterback of the Year. You can't make these mistakes against this team. You can't. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot, and that's exactly what they did this game.
Listen, the one thing that we didn't talk about in this game is, yes, it was a lot of times where they gave Carver the advantage in the game, like you mentioned. But one thing I got to talk about is, yes, the Shockers defense was not able to hold the way that they needed to in this game. You're not expecting them to, but when you have one person in the first half kill you the way Sal did, and then kill you the rest of the game driving down the field, it's hard to win a game like that. Regardless of the mistakes you make, if you can't stop this man from doing whatever he wants on the field, it's going to end almost the same exact way that the game ended today.
Well, before I get back on the Shockers, Carver moves on. It was scary the first half. I think they need to fix things because they showed the ability to give up the deep pass. Other teams are watching. Super Friends are watching. The winner of the Violators game, Spartans game are watching. Getters is watching. We all these teams are watching. You're going to have to play in the West. They got to show the ability to stop the deep pass, or what team's going to attack them on it. Then, second half, Carver scored once, but they got stopped 2 other times. They had to punt one of them, and Chuck got picked off. Got to be more efficient. Can't make these mistakes against this team. Now, obviously, it seems like they took the pedal off the metal and just wanted to run the clock out. But in the playoffs, you got to be ready to put your foot on the team's throat. Now, with Shockers, we're going to talk to their re-up. 1, Shockers need a leader. That's the most important thing. Pig was arguing. Ramsey was arguing. Welch was arguing. All the refs here is blah, 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 blah. You need a leader that's going to sit down and get the troops together and say, this is what we're going to do. 99 problems, Shannon's a leader. Super Friends, Tone is a leader. Carver, Pam's a leader. Violators, Brian Iomi's the leader. IOD, Swiss, and Adi. I could go on and on and on. Them getters, you got Hollywood, and their field generals Dre. You gotta have that. Shockers do not have that. That's one. 2, offensively, they're a great downfield team. They need a bigger receiver. Their biggest receiver is Amir and Naheem. Zed wasn't really consistent with the deep ball. Amir gets hurt too much. Welch is not a real big receiver. He got speed, but not a big receiver. Ramsey missed Lou. You know, I thought Lou should have went to Shockers, but, you know, he missed having a guy like Lou. Lou opens up the field and his size demands attention. They missed a guy like that. They need to go out and get a guy like that. And the last thing, they need a secondary. They need a free safety that can pick off the ball and make plays. Sometimes the best defender in the secondary was Ramsey. They got to get another defender. Somebody in a defense that Ramsey does not have to ever go on defense. He can stay on the sideline, talk to his offense when he makes mistakes, and know what to do. We saw him do that when he was with Riot. They need to be able to do that. Now, sometimes Ramsey did play defense. Mm-hmm. So we seen him do it sometimes on Riot, sometimes we see him. He needs to solely be on the offense. And then when he makes mistakes, he can reevaluate it and be able to come back on offense when they get the ball back. But I think that's their re-up. Those are the things they need to do to get better.
And then they need to do it soon because there's a lot of things that were promising about this team. Their offense was, you know, I would say inconsistent because of the choices that Ramsey made throughout the season. A lot of risks. But when they were on, they were on. This team was guns, like the name that Ramsey earned, Gunslinger, that's a name that he literally, you know, that's a namesake for him. Yeah. Because he deserved that. That's exactly what he was. But those little things about the secondary and them, you know, not staying together, them not having a leader, that's spot on. And if they can fix those things, I think this is a team that's definite. Well, they're a team that should be watched now. But in the future, you'll get to see more of them if they can fix those problems.
All right, we're going to end this one. Carver coming over with the win over Shockers, 26-14. We're going to be right back.